This is a fantasy football team that you need to see in order to believe. For the second year now, my friend group has done a league where the girls in the group will draft the fantasy team, and then the guys will manage it for the duration of the season. The draft occurred last night. I found out who my partner was, and then I got to feast my eyes on this roster. When I first opened the My Team page, I was getting real excited through these first few scrolls. Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, if he can stay healthy, DeAndre Swift, that's a pretty good top three. Then I was met with a bit of a jump scare. Brandon Ayuk is wide receiver 1. He's out at least the first 4 games, but it's okay. Little hiccup, it happens. He's a good player. We're going to stash him for when he's healthy. Then we came back a little strong. I like Jalen Waddle this year. Travis Kelce coming off an engagement. And then we got to the flex. Rachaad White is not the strongest flex in a 10-team league, but that's okay. We can fix that with some waiver wire pickups. Rounding out the starters, we've got the Chiefs D and Cam Little. Love it. And here's where things start to go off the rails a little bit. First bench player, Joe Burrow. I don't hate the idea of stockpiling 2 stud quarterbacks and trying to use one of them as a trade piece. Gabs must have been thinking the same thing, so not upset with the move. And then the second bench player, which is a backup kicker. That's okay. What if Cam Little gets injured? Then we got another stud, Dicker the kicker. But here's where I get lost. The third bench player is yet another kicker. Surely we must have already had another good wide receiver that was healthy to fill the place of Ayuk while he was out, right? Not if Chris Godwin had anything to say about that. Not to fear though, we still have 3 more bench spots. I'm sure we can add some depth to the roster. And boy, was I right. We are the deepest team when it comes to quarterbacks, adding Justin Herbert as a backup to Joe Burrow as a backup to Josh Allen. But again, if Gabby was planning on using Joe Burrow as a trade piece, Justin Herbert's a pretty solid backup to Josh Allen, so no issues. Moving on to the final 2 spots, praying for a little more core depth, and I got it with Chicago's very own Caleb Williams, a 4th quarterback. I'm not sure there's a team in NFL history that has rostered 4 active quarterbacks, but maybe Gabby's onto something here. At this point, I'm just praying for any startable player in that last roster slot. And there's a reason that I'm not a religious man, because my prayers were answered with another injured Jalen Wright. To recap, this is a squad of 4 quarterbacks, 3 kickers, 3 injured players. I wish I had longer than 1 day of training camp to whip this team into shape. We're going to channel our inner Herman Boone.
We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts. And then you will run a mile. Perfection.
I'll ride with my girl Gabby all the way to the end. We are going to lead this team to the most unexpected fantasy football victory ever. If anyone's got some good team names for this squad, feel free to drop them in the comments.
Let's go to work.